Hi guys, welcome to today's unboxing. Today we will be unboxing the Winsor and Newton fine acrylic colors, which is I think also their student version or also called as the Chinese version of it. So we will do a little bit of a painting, seeing how these paints are. So somehow I received this box without a box or a lid on top, so I don't know how that looks with the lid. I will leave the link in the description, so if you want to purchase it, you can do that. I got it from Creative Hands. So I'll probably have to store them in a separate basket separately without using this container, otherwise everything would just pop out. But anyway, I think this I'm excited to see how these will be. So this is how each one is. These are 10 ml, which is lower than what I would have preferred, but it's good to start off with. So I'm going to try and check how the paints come. Since it's 10 ml, this will get over pretty soon. So after that, you can move on to probably their artist or their designer range, and you can make that decision. So I'm going to use now a small swatch sheet, and we're going to make a tiny painting out of this to see how this works. I highly recommend when you get acrylics to make a small painting to figure out how they work, because what I have noticed is no matter how much you make the swatch sheet of it, you would never really know about its consistency unless you actually make a painting out of it. So I always do that whenever I get any new range of acrylics. I would always make a small painting to see how the blending is. So there would be two types. One would be the heavy body, and then one would be the light body, and there'll also sometimes be the medium ones. This we can figure out which one this is, and you can use them accordingly. You can even mix your brands when you're making your acrylic painting. So if you have a fair idea about how your brand is working, then you'll be able to mix it very easily. So here are my colors, and I'm going to make a really nice scene at the back, and I'm going to use the colors probably some, there's a brilliant red, there is crimson, maybe we'll make like a sunset scene. So I'm going to start off with a red, and let's go from the red, medium yellow, yellow, and then maybe some white. So let's see how it works with this. So this is a peel off palette that I use. I find this really useful. So we'll make a nice painting with this. So we'll begin painting right now. I am going to start off with this brilliant red. I'm going to apply it directly onto my canvas. This is a 360 GSM paper that I'm using right now. It's the best to use for acrylic paintings. The lesser ones would not really be very good, because you're going to be applying quite a thick amount of layers. So also one important thing is acrylics, you're not going to use a lot of water. In fact, you're going to use as less water as possible. So in that case, it would be a big issue if you have like a really thin paper, or even if you use watercolor paper, because it wants to absorb the water. So I would recommend you guys to use only these acrylic sheets which are available. So I'm using now a flat brush. This is a blending brush. You can even use a regular flat brush to do this. And I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water, and we're going to try out how this is. So I can see that it's pretty thin in terms of how the paint is, but also because maybe it's a new batch, and that's why the first layer is a little watery. You saw that there was some liquid which was coming out. That helps to keep it fine. So now I'm just adding a little bit of water, because my yellow was pretty thick, and it's not bad. It's a really, the blending is happening really well, and it's giving me a really nice effect. Like I don't even have to go multiple times, and it's super quick dry. I think it's already dried almost. So I'm very happy with how these are, and I love the fact that this packaging is the cap, if you can see, it has a little bit of a gap from the bottom, so it doesn't stick to the bottom. So a lot of times what happens in the regular other tubes that I use is the paint would sometimes overspill. It'll come inside in these edges, it'll get stuck over here, and it'll be really difficult to remove the cap. So I'm assuming that this is going to be super easy for me to remove and take care of. So a big plus on that. Colors are very vibrant, super fun to see and use. So I think this is something that I would highly recommend, at least for so far. So now, so far it's a good thing. It's a little wet, like not too wet, but it's like quick dry. It's pretty nice that way. Now I'm going to use some black and we'll add some small silhouette details, and I think that would be amazing. Let me take, so yes, you can see there's a little bit of liquid that's more like to protect your paints that would be there. You just have to like mix it along with your regular paints, like just use a brush to mix it along. I'm going to use now a nice thin round brush, and I'm thinking what kind of details we can have. Maybe I'll just create mountains. That's something that I do a lot. I really enjoy these silhouette paintings. So I'm just going to use some black, and you can use a round brush for this. Mine hasn't fully dried, which is why the white is mixing. So I'll just give another layer on top once it fully completely dries. So the final effect of after removing the masking tape is going to be awesome. So for now I'm going to let this dry for another maybe 5 minutes, and then I'll show you guys the second coat which I do, and then we'll remove this masking tape and see how the final effect of this painting looks. And I think this is a little shiny finish in terms of drying, which is quite nice. Now this just has dried out a little bit, the base layer. I'm going to just add an additional layer on top, which is a little more of black. And I love how smooth it is. So I did not have to mix any amount of water to it. So I really like the consistency, which also means that it is not very thick, and it's good to use for these things. It might need second layer right now only because I didn't have the patience to wait for the bottom layer to dry, but you don't really need to do that. So now let me remove the masking tape. When you remove the masking tape, always remember to remove it against the painting, like the way I'm doing right now. Don't remove it towards the painting, because sometimes the masking tapes tend to tear the paper. So to ensure that it doesn't tear the painted area, you make sure that you go against the painting always. So this is how my sunset painting looks with these acrylics from Winsor and Newton. So I'm guessing that since this is still their student range, their designer range is going to be even better. So give this a shot if you're somebody who is going to be starting out with acrylics. Please go ahead and get these. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you are new over here, do consider subscribing to my channel. So I put a lot of updates every week and lots of tutorials. Bye.